Hey, yo, what's good tomorrow, C? Usually you'd hear Flynn jump in now, but the old lazy Maisie himself, he's off being a new dad. So look, we gave him the 2 weeks off, little bit of paternity leave. Sure, look, he'll need it. Anyway, welcome to the show. This is Gobsmack, where we talk about growing up and everything in between. I've roped in another guest this week. This one's a bit of a special one for me because, look, it's easy for me to latch on to the celebrity mates and bring them on and talk about all the glamorous shite that goes on in life. But look, that's not what this podcast is all about. I said, look, if I'm going to bring in guests, it's going to be people that have made a difference in my life or have been in my life growing up. So, like James Penny last week, massive reaction to that episode. Appreciate everybody sharing it and everybody that's been reaching out with all the positive comments and all the messages and stuff. It was great to chat to Pena, and look, we'll get him on again because there's more to his story than what we chatted about. So yeah, we'll definitely have him on again. My guest this week is somebody that is a massive part of my life. Kind of shaped me to be the man I am today, to be honest. Everything from music to art to photography, film, everything I owe to this man. He was like a father figure for me growing up. So yeah, I'm very excited to have him on. It's Gavin Byrne. He's a youth officer. I met him when I was 12, 13, something like that. So yeah, it'll be an interesting chat. He's a deep guy, cool guy, creative as fuck, a little bit weird like myself. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Let's dive in.
So I'd like to say Ev on his paternity leave. You're due back to work next week.
Yeah.
But congratulations to you and Danielle.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's an amazing thing to bring a child into the world and to love and look after and educate. I think it's quite an amazing thing.
Yeah, it is.
To have children.
It is and it isn't.
These are heroes.
It is and it isn't. If you speak to me, Danielle, now and Barley or Dory are being a bit naughty. Yeah. In fairness, the two of them are great. Do you know what I mean? Dory's Dory's just unbelievable. She is really good. She's starting to have her terrible twos now, even though she's 6.
Right.
So we're starting to get them now.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
She's just super independent. Do you know what I mean? She's like Danielle. She's just super independent. Can't tell her what to do. Do you know what I mean? She's really bad for authority. Bit like me when I was young. Couldn't really tell me what to do. I was a bit of an arsehole. Yeah. But yeah. And then Barley is like, he's one. And he's a bloody handful. He's just so he just knows what he wants. And you just have to give in to him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just so headstrong, a bit like me and Danny, he didn't lick it off a stone, but yeah. So what isn't, it isn't.
Yeah. No,
it's great in theory.
It's amazing. It's mostly amazing.
Yeah, I know, but Ev would be a great dad. He's a sweetheart, very emotional guy, and he wears his heart on his sleeve. Do you know what I mean? He's a good kid, do you know what I mean? A good young fella, same as Danielle. Have you ever met Danielle? His yes, Danielle now, not mine.
I think I have. Yes, I did. Yeah,
she'd be very similar to Ev. She's a sweetheart. Do you know what I mean?
One of our nights out many years ago.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. The two of them are lovely.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. He has his hands full now. He's trying to put an album out, and then deal with having a little mister around as well. Remind me to show you photos of him when
no bother. That's what life is for doing all of these things.
Yeah. I actually never thought I'd have kids.
Really?
Kids. Yeah, I never thought. This sounds really it sounds like me, but I never thought I'd be happy. Does that make sense? I never thought I'd find someone that would put up with me, more or less. Do you know what I mean? Because I think that, the self-hate and stuff that I have and all that stuff, that's in me. I didn't think I was able to find someone that would like me, let alone love me, the kind of way, and want to spend their life with me.
Did you notice how you found stuff that you really cared about, stuff that you loved to do? You found that pretty early on.
You mean as in music
as
and art and like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was always how long do we know each other?
I always understood you as an artist.
Yeah.
You weren't you weren't going into the community centre playing football or the Astro. No. This wasn't something you were interested in. Yeah. But I think the project you were involved in was kind of written for you. Or people, young people like you.
Yeah.
That creative space and where you could be yourself.
Yeah, I was always the outsider, wasn't I? Really, in like the group of friends
You
that
were,
I had, I was
yeah.
always the outsider.
You were,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I love all the boys to bits,
Yeah.
but I know I was the outsider. I was the loner. I was the kind of emo kid. I was the one that,
Bit introverted.
you know, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked being by myself, and I still do. I'm still the exact same today. I'm an absolute nightmare to deal with. Very like private person.
Yeah.
You know, even though I make music and well, the odd time I make music and put it out into the world, like I'm still super private.
It's kind of it's difficult, isn't it? Because I'm a musician too. I play, but I am very slow to put stuff out. For me, it's an artistic therapy. It's something I love to do, and I'm so lucky that as a young person I was introduced to music, and I find myself, you know, spending hours playing music just for myself, even composing music just for myself. Now, some of it I've thrown out there,
Yeah.
but I'm really slow to, because for me, it's not something I necessarily want a career in. But if you're lucky enough to find that stuff when you're young, it stays with you,
Yeah.
you know, for the rest of your life.
Yeah, like I have a very love-hate relationship with art, and like with all art, with all the art that I do.
What I was trying to say is the difficult, you know, when you want to create something, you know, that's something that you want to put on paper or out there in sounds.
Yeah.
And when it's not happening, it hurts.
Yeah.
Almost. It's really hard. It's
Yeah.
really difficult.
It's very hard to explain to someone that isn't like that as well. Like when I try explaining it to Danielle, she understands the frustration I get,
Yeah.
but I don't think she understands the full extent to it. Like, you know what it's like, you know what I mean? Like your art is like a child here, you know.
It's very much an internal conflict that's going on, an internal conversation that has no words.
It's funny that you say it, because I'm working on new music at the minute, or I have been on and off for years now, but there's some songs that I've written and some music that I've written that I want to put out. Do you know what I mean? Like I do. Like it's what would I say? I love it more or less. You know what I mean? It's just something that I'm really passionate about. The stuff I'm making now, I'm just like, do you know what? I should put this out. Why not? Do you know what I mean? Because I battle because I'm older now. I'm in my mid-30s now. I'm looking at these young guys going around in like their early 20s, and they're like, you know, they're unbelievable. Majority of them are unbelievable. You know, most of them are riding a wave, which is fine, but they're still unbelievable. And I'm looking at that going, whoa, that's a young man's game. I can't compete with that, you know. But the other day I was upstairs. I have a studio here in the house, and I was upstairs recording. It was on Sunday just gone, and I'm working on new music. A lot of it's done, a lot of it's recorded, some of it isn't. So I was like, do you know what? I'm going to spend it was Saturday. So I'm going to spend the guts of Saturday. I'm going to record this track that I have written, and it's going to be unbelievable. I'm going to get it done. I'm in the zone, you know. I swear, probably about 4 or 5 hours. I felt like fucking jumping out the window, like, you know.
Yeah.
So frustrated, like so pissed off, you know. And it's hard to explain that to somebody. Very hard. Yeah. Very hard.
Yeah, tortured artist stuff going on. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
sometimes I work better when I'm under pressure, when it's like, right, I have to get this done.
yeah, when you have a deadline.
Majority of the time, I work better like that. I'm like a last minute Larry. I leave everything to the last minute, but I'll get it done. You know what I mean? But this time,
I think a lot of professionals are like that. It's some of your best work is done under pressure. You have to, and then the little genius gene works its magic, and then out comes something that you could be proud of.
Yeah,
I guess. But I remember you saying you spoke at a youth gathering around the tech programs that we were doing in Freuga, and your message, and you know, it was bit of rock, and people loved to hear you, and you were very charismatic. But what you said was work. You know, that's 80%, and even 90% of success is the work you put in.
yeah,
You might be, you know, a brilliant composer, a brilliant hip hop artist, a brilliant artist, but if you don't work hard at it, it won't be any good.
no, it won't work.
And that was, you know, I was standing there going, "Jeez, I never thought of it that way." Good man, Itch. Yeah, I thought that was quite a message for young people. And I was at an AI conference recently. The government are hosting a whole series of national youth assemblies to have young people advise and influence the decisions the government is making about all kinds of issues.
Yeah.
And the latest, so they've had it on rural development, they've had it on the Constitution, they've had it on, what was the latest one? Can't remember. But the one I was at last week in the Department of Children was on artificial intelligence. And there was a young man there he was 19, he looked 14,
Yeah.
but he'd set up an AI business, and he was doing very well. So he was the keynote speaker.
Yeah.
And he talked about work as well. He said, I didn't realise this until someone said it to me. It's about the work you put in.
Yeah.
You might have
must
all
have been
the
there
talent in the world, but if you don't work,
Yeah.
if you're a piano player, you got to work on your scales. If you're
No,
a
you
singer,
do.
you work on your
do,
scales, your
100%.
breathing. You work, and as a writer, writing lyrics or even painting a picture.
You can put that down to you want to be an athlete, you have to work extremely hard.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
your whole life has to be consumed by it. And I think with me, personal life kind of took over. I kind of lost interest in music, you know, and I didn't work hard enough at it to build a career out of it. I thought I wanted a career in music until I got a taste of it years ago. When I put out Cold City.
Yes.
It kind of made a little bit of a stamp, and it kind of grew legs, you know, and I got a little small taste of what kind of, I wouldn't say success, because it
What it
wasn't
might be
that
like,
fucking
yeah.
successful, you know, but the popularity of it and getting noticed and people coming up to me, people contacting me, I was just like, oh, this isn't for me. I was going through a lot at that time, you know, that album was therapy to me. All of the albums that I put out was just like a therapy session. That's you know, that's more or less what it was. It wasn't for monetary value. It wasn't for fame or anything like that, or any of that cheesy stuff. I thought that's what I wanted. I always thought that's what I wanted since I was a young kid. Since when you first met me, I thought, right, the only way people are gonna love me, the only way I'm gonna find love, is to become this successful person, whether it be music artist or whatever, you know what I mean, an actor or whatever it is. I thought that was my way of finding Danielle. Do you know what I mean? That's what I thought I had to do. Right, I have to do this now to get love, like to be loved by people. And look, that wasn't on the cards for me. You know, I didn't work hard enough at it. But I do truly believe, you know, if you work hard enough at something, you will achieve it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if you work in McDonald's, you come in every day, you don't miss a shift. You come in every day and you work your way up. You become manager.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the nature of life.
Yeah. Well, your shift, you have to work through your shift. You know, you
Yeah.
have to work to get there.
You have to walk.
It's internal work as well as, you know, physical work.
Anytime any young person asks me, you know, they all call me an OG now. It's basically just a way of calling me old, you know. Oh, Rocky, you're an OG and you're the GOAT and all this. I'm like, yeah, all right, buddy.
Bit that rock.
You've probably never even heard one of my songs before, you know what I mean? They just know the name and they just kind of like, oh, you're your man that did so-and-so, whatever. It's gas, like, but they all call me the GOAT now and like the OG. Basically just call me old.
Lots of my colleagues
But I like it.
listen to this podcast.
They do not.
They do.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, I mean, there's so many people work for our youth workers now. Were involved around your time and after your time when you were a young person in Ferrolga. It's quite extraordinary. I never thought the young people we were working with were going to become youth workers.
Yeah.
It was the last thing. You know, we weren't training young people to become like us at all. Yeah. But we've quite a number now.
Just because they looked up to you so much.
Well,
and they want to help their community as well and help people like them. You know,
it's really. I mean, for me, it's been a huge privilege. I mean, you know, kind of still, you know, meeting you and going for the drinks and you know, and collaborating. Yeah. I think we're going to collaborate on something soon.
We're going to do something soon, 100%.
This is cool. This is amazing.
Yeah,
this is quite cool.
It's sweet. You know, I said that, like, I don't have many regrets in life, right? I really don't. I've done some stupid things in my past, but I don't regret them because it pushed me to the place I'm in now. You know, I own my own home. I'm married. I have 2 kids. I have a good life, you know what I mean? I have a full-time job. I have a dog and a tortoise upstairs. Like, I have a good life, do you know what I mean? I really can't complain, even though I do, you know what I mean? But that's the self-doubt and the self-hate that I have in me. Yeah. And I'm never going to get over that, you know? It might soften a little bit just as I get older because I'll care less about things. But I still eat myself up, you know what I mean?
You know the value of gratitude.
Yeah, of course I do.
You know, of gratitude. And I think that can often that works in our favour.
Yeah.
If we're able to say thank you and to be grateful for all that we've achieved and all that we have and all that is in front of us, yet to happen, because there's an amazing journey ahead of us all.
100%.
There is an amazing journey and that hope. So I think that can that helps, that kind of deflects those negative voices that come up and remind you, hey buddy, you're not that cool, you're not that, that's no good.
Get those mics off you.
Don't, and that confidence or that esteem that you have, that you've learnt, that you've developed. Because if you didn't have that self-esteem, you didn't have that confidence, you wouldn't be doing any of this.
Yeah,
you wouldn't be doing what you're doing.
I kind of fake it, to be honest. I do. I know I do. I kind of put it on a little bit, you know what I mean? That's why I love having Ev here, because he's very similar to me, like he beats himself up as well, do you know what I mean? But he puts it on a lot braver than me. He puts on a braver face than I do, So
well, you can do it together.
Yeah, we piggyback off each other, you know what I mean? We're two halves that make a whole. But what I was saying earlier, I don't have many regrets in life, right? I regret dropping out of school or being kicked out of school because I was a little shy. But I regret, do you remember, I don't know if you remember, right? Do you remember years and years and years and years and years ago, you were trying to push me kind of towards animation. You were like, no, animation I think is a good career for you. I don't know if you remember, right? This is years ago. When I got
lightsabers?
Really, you know
the lightsabers?
I do remember the lightsabers. Come on.
We'll tell a story about the lightsabers.
And I remember I was getting really involved into animation, because that's what I was learning at the time or whatever. And I remember you were like, you should go for animation. I was like, I'm going to be famous. Are you mad? Right? Not knowing. And then I remember a couple of years later, you were like, would you ever think of becoming a youth officer? Like people, a lot of young lads do listen to you, and people like it and all this sort of crack. And I didn't really take on board. Only two things I regret in life is passing on that opportunity and getting myself thrown out of school, because I wish I went back to finish it, you know what I mean? But I wish, I really do. I do look back and think, jeez, I wonder if I would have made like a good youth officer, Because I still do think about it today. I remember
we're still looking for volunteers.
I'm telling you.
You can, and big brothers and big sisters.
Big brother, big sister.
The lightsabers. So I remember trying to work out, because the clubhouse, it was the clubhouse program. For me, I knew I didn't know a lot.
Should we explain what the computer clubhouse is?
So it's a technology learning program for young people after school. So we have music studio, as you say, animation, video, photography. Now it's all coding, 3D printing, LED bulbs, Arduinos. Yeah, it's the whole range.
And this was all within Feroga.
It was one of our after schools projects, and it was for all young people in the area. And
it's where I learned everything.
It just happened that we had loads of young people came down from Parsixtown and Wellview and ladies as well. Yeah, but I remember trying to work, because Star Wars was back on the thing. Lots of the big into Star Wars and how we make these lightsabers, and I set myself a mission to learn how to make lightsabers.
Yeah, how to animate it.
Animated, like proper ones. So, I read a tutorial about Photoshop. So you take a video.
Fresh on the scene,
so you get a video. So you get a hairbrush, and you have two lads going, pretending they're in the movies, right? The lightsaber. 10 seconds is probably too long. Yeah. Then you export that from the videotape, literally, into Photoshop as a film strip with hundreds of individual, if you can imagine, all frames, and they'll be moving slowly. And then you draw, literally, take the mouse or whatever, and you draw one.
Well, if you're filming at 25 frames per second, so just 25 frames in each second of that 10 seconds, and you have to animate each one of them.
Now, the Star Wars people had hundreds of people,
of course,
each drawing
professionals.
And I remember doing, and then bringing it back in, and I took it to what I brought back in and showed you, look. Yeah. And it was really cool. It was really good. Yeah. You went off then and decided, no, there's an easier way to do this. And we're using Flash. Do you remember Flash? Macromedia Flash.
Yeah, of course.
And you did it in and you came out, and it was much better. And you had your cousins, I think, in your back garden. I gave you a land of
would have been nephews.
Your nephews.
Simon
I gave you the land of the camera to bring home over the weekend.
I do
and
remember.
You came back in with this amazing lightsabers, and they were flashing properly.
Look
Like
at
they
that,
were, they were
like,
like
prick.
they were like they were like it was like a hard fluorescent lights, you know, a blue one.
I remember
and a
it
red
came
one.
it came out and all that.
You,
It's like
you did, yeah.
all the sound effects.
But then you came and you showed me exactly how you did it, and on the screen, and like this was hard fun. That's what we call it. The club. It was hard fun.
Yeah.
But you went and you took it. You took a laptop, I think, at home with you, and a camera, and you came back in the following week.
Gas.
And
that was early days of like Adobe.
Yeah.
That was early days of like
that's
Photoshop
right.
and Flash.
And I remember, you know, people saying, people go to college to study this stuff, and that, you know, they're doing this. They're doing this down in the U Club, like, and that's what it was all about. It was, you know, like really top end professional stuff that was available for young people, and was learning by doing. And I was a learner by doing as well, because I didn't know how to do things. So we were all learning together. And because I'd be sitting there and I'd be starting you off, or one of the lads or one of the girls off in some complicated program, and then leaving them at it, and then coming back, going, show me how you do that. Yeah,
so I always think it's the best way of learning is to just do it.
And you got to,
like tutorials.
And if you love, if you're doing what you love, and do something that you care about, you will learn even quicker, even better, and you'll go further. And that's the problem, I guess, with education. You know? You got to be doing things that you love.
The education system's a little bit behind, but
you got to do, and you loved all of that kind of stuff.
I loved it. Look, I still use those skills.
And if you hadn't left school, I don't know, you mightn't have found your way into the project.
Well, yeah.
You know, because you wouldn't have had time, because you'd be doing homework and
well, so, I only went to Froga because
I
wanted to stay in some sort of education. So I went to the early school leavers program at Froga, and it was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me.
And
to be honest,
it's our most loved. Probably still going strong. Yeah. Since 1992, it's one of the oldest.
That's crazy. I loved it.
Still going strong. Yeah.
That's where the flair from like art, because as I said at the start of the podcast, I was such an outsider. I loved art and I loved music and I loved like movies, but I loved watching the behind the scenes of the movies more so than the actual movies, because I want to see how they make things and how do you do that, like how did you make those puppets or how did you build those clay models. That's the type of shit that I was into, you know. And when I went to the early school leavers, just before I even found my way into your world, and I was in the early school leavers, I forget her name, but the art teacher there, she did English with us, but she did a lot of the art stuff. I think she was from Cardiff. She was unbelievable. Like, I absolutely loved her. I'm terrible with names, so I forget names like mad. But she brought me to IMA. Right? She brought the whole...
The Irish Museum of Modern Art.
Yeah, Irish Museum of Modern Art. She brought us to IMA. And from that day on, I go there religiously.
Yeah, super place, yeah.
I was obsessed with it. I was like, oh my God, people paint pictures and hang them on walls and fucking galleries. Like, look at this shit. Walking around and there was like a field made out of rice. And I'm like, oh my God, look at this crack. Like, do you know what I mean? And I remember we did a stint there. Do you remember we did that? I don't know if you remember. Remember we did a summer there?
Yeah.
We were involved and we got to spend the whole summer in Imma in one of the workshops there. Unbelievable. One of the stables at the side. Yeah. I forget the artist's name. Yeah, he was like a clay maker. It was really cool it was. But I've just... The early school years, man, changed my life. Yeah. Really did. I know a lot of the lads were there to kind of just mess and stay out of trouble, but I was there to like, I love this. Like, I love it. Yeah. And then I found my way into your world.
Then we were in the room next door.
You were actually out where the reception is now. Do you remember that little space? Remember the old Macs?
Yeah. That was so before the clubhouse program, I was looking after the Youth Information Centre.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
and we had the old translucent, the old Macs, because we got a big grant from a bank to. As we bought these formats and we plugged them all into the internet, and we were probably the only place in Blanche at the time where it was public internet where you could come and put us off the dial-up stuff. It was real, like it was, but that was we were really proud of that. And then I did that for a while, and then we got the grant to open the clubhouse program.
I remember
Intel.
I remember it. Like
you were in the early school years, and then it was in the next room to where you were.
Remember? Yeah. I remember the Youth Information Centre because I used to hound you. I used to wreck your head. But like, can I print this picture of Snoop Dogg off?
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
It'd take like an hour to print one picture. Do you remember? I used to like dial up.
Cost a fortune.
Yeah, are you mad? It cost about £100 to print that.
The colour
Can I just
printers,
print
yeah.
this?
It's funny that was
Like
what
a hash
everyone
leaf,
did.
a hash leaf or
And
something, or Dr. Dre.
It was an art gallery. The clubhouse was an art gallery because everyone printed their pictures,
their art and stuff. Yeah.
Now it's of course it's all online.
But I remember, right? So I remember I was, because I used to hang around when I finished the year of school. I finished I used to hang around because I never used a computer before. It's the first time. It's like, oh my god, and I can use this without anybody telling me what to do. Yeah. So I was on this thing anyway, and I remember one of the days I was hanging around because I never used to want to go home. Why? Like, did I want to go home? Do you know what I mean? So that, like, the youth service building was my, like, safe haven. That was my little safe space, you know. I was allowed to be me there. I was a little creator and a little weirdo, you know, and I loved it. Like, I loved being a little weirdo because you were a little bit weird too, and that was great. Course, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I found my tribe. You know, I found my clan. Like, this is my tribe. This is where I belong. And I remember the day you were like, come on down here and I show you. And I was like, oh my god, this is it. This is it. I'm going to be murdered. Right? So you brought me down the hallway anyway, the big dark hallway. I was terrified of it. And you brought me in the big dark room and you're like, guess what we're building in here? It's going to be a computer clubhouse. I'm like, what? You're like, it's going to be a big computer clubhouse. There was just desks everywhere with the computers were getting all set up. Blew me mind.
The big green table. And the music studio, was that...
The studio.
You took to that a little bit after, did you?
Yeah, I wasn't really interested in that at first.
Yeah.
Wasn't really interested. It was more, you were telling me like, yeah, you can like make movies here and you'd be able to like make art and all this stuff. And I was like, oh my God, oh my days. Yeah. And that was it. That was it from that day. And now I remember like it was yesterday. Yeah. Bringing me down to
it was
because we were all terrified of that hallway.
It was my favourite job it's my favourite job ever. Yeah. It was working.
Unbelievable. I always thought I would have taken over for you.
Because I got to play with the technology as well.
Yeah, you were
I got to learn and I got to play the music and
like you just got to make pretend. Yeah, every day you came in.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah,
I'm sure there was like the harder side of it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, dealing with certain things and money and grants and dealing with certain kids and kids going through issues and all that stuff. We were all like that because we all leaned on you. We all burnt the ears off you. You know, I know you were a big shoulder for me to cry on. You know. I was going through a tough time then, you know. And the computer club helped. You helped. That whole centre helped. Yeah, that was. You know, I'd do anything for Oga. Anytime they ask me to do anything, 100% I'll do it for you. No matter what it is, I'll do it. You know, I love the place, and a lot of the staff there still talk to this day. The odd time, obviously.
A few of us are left.
Yeah, a few of the old dinosaurs.
There's about 50 of us now. It's a big.
And how long are you there? How long are you there?
Oh my goodness. Oh my days.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I guess it would be 24 years. Yeah.
And how long do we know each other?
24, 20.
About 20 years?
No, hold on. 1998. So so 2000. So 22 years. Actually, because you were in the early school. We opened the clubhouse in 2001.
Yeah. So I would have been there before that.
So you were there at least a year before that?
Probably longer.
Probably longer, yeah. I think you might have done 3 years.
I'd say the late 90s.
You were 13 maybe when you started.
Yeah,
must 13, 14, 15. You'd be gone by 16. Yeah.
Because those photographs you sent me of me and Mary McAleese.
Yes.
Do you remember her big speech and stuff was in where the computer club was?
Well, that was before the clubhouse.
Yeah, so that would have been before.
So I would have been 1999 maybe. 2000.
I would have been there a while before that.
Yeah. That's right. Yes, she came to see the project, the web project at the time, I think.
Yeah.
And
I got to give her that picture as well of Grace O'Malley Castle. You presented the picture I drew, and then somehow out of nowhere she had some like funny story about being there. It was one of her favourite places. Yeah. She was kind of taken aback by it a little bit. I remember
that you actually produced a piece of artwork.
It's probably in the artist somewhere. I've been in there now.
That is amazing. You should ask about that.
I was going to ask when I was there because I was there with Michael D and you know me. Yeah. So I was there with Michael D and I was going to ask, is there a fucking hand-drawn picture of Grace O'Malley Castle? Yeah. Because it was presented to her, and like it was officially presented to her. I
forgot about that. There is still a picture that you drew, T-Bone.
Oh right, okay.
Like it was like
a dog thing?
Like a doghouse thing. Yeah.
On like a mirror, glass or something.
No, another, and it's in a little frame. It's in a little paper frame.
Deadly.
It's in the kitchen.
No way.
And and generations of young
Yeah.
people or youth workers have come through, and that has remained. There's something sacred about. I guess they know Gav. That no, you have to talk to Gav about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't touch that.
Don't touch that. As long as Gav remains here.
I'm trying to think of it. It was like a portrait of someone you drew for one of the lads.
Yeah.
And I can't remember his name.
That's gas. I'm gonna have to drop in one day. I haven't been there in years.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
I'm gonna have to drop down one day and see the Pure Club, see the old haunt.
Well, we're going to do a redesign soon. We're hoping
really?
to just to strip it out, repaint it, new carpet. All of those tables
just freshen up and stuff.
all of those tables in that room came in it from a container from Canada. Right, big green table. They're still there.
Yeah.
They're still,
Is
and
the green
and
table
chairs,
still there?
and they're as good
Jesus.
today as. So what was important is that you invest in good stuff,
Yeah.
in robust
Good equipment.
furniture and equipment.
Yeah.
You know, and we've got so many years out of that, and and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. They're as good. And
18
generations
years.
of young people have worked and created on those tables. You know?
We had some good times in that room, Ari.
Yeah, yeah.
With that whole centre. Some
And
really
Boston.
good times in that
Our
Boston.
trips-
We
our
went to
trip to
Boston to make some
Boston.
music. That's where I discovered Lucky Charms.
That's
Oh
where they
my
told
God.
you to rap in your own accent, man.
Yeah,
Remember
that's
that?
when Silence them all. Mr. Jeffrey, he was the one that came up to me and
That's
was like,
right.
"You should use your own accent."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay."
But
Okay then.
but the American young people, they loved it.
Oh,
they
they
loved
lapped
to
it
hear
up.
it.
They lapped it
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
I think you started the trend here.
I'm still. No,
Probably.
I didn't do that. I wish. I still talk to people from
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
when we were at
Jeff?
Boston. Jeff's been here. He's just been over there with him. I've been there with him. Back and forth. We still kind of make little bits and pieces of music and stuff together and art and that. I just presented some awards for him as well there a while
Yeah.
back. Did you involved in
That
that?
was the showcase, the type
During COVID?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I had to present some awards.
So there's
Gas.
so there would be so the club is part of an international network. There's maybe 150
Around the world.
around the world, and there's a festival. There's a film. There's a creative festival every year for spoken word. So there's prizes for spoken word, for
Yeah.
video, for music, for documentaries, for all kinds of. And
Is that what I was
that's what
presenting?
you. I think that's what you were.
The details were a little vague, so I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'll do it.
That's what you
Because I'm
were.
part of the alumni, so it was just
Yes,
like, yeah, I'll do it.
That's
You know.
what you were.
Who was there? Oh, yeah, there was a couple of us, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. Yeah,
Couple of us
there
from
was 4.
And then some from town as well, wasn't there? The
And then
clubhouse
there's
in
a
the
clubhouse
city?
in town. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's run by Swicken, and they
Yeah,
had.
Swicken, that's the one.
So we had our teen summit this year because we can't go to Boston because of COVID. So it's gonna be another one. So it was a joint thing between Swicken, which is where the club is in town, and ourselves. So
Yeah.
they did Tato Park, and they had trips, and it was great fun.
Ah, deadly.
But they're still doing great stuff there as well.
And come here to me. Are you still writing music?
Yes, of course.
Like
I
your
am.
own stuff?
Yeah, of course I am.
And you're going to release it?
One day I will quietly put everything together. One day I will quietly put everything together.
You should. You have released a couple of bits.
So I
over the
wrote
years.
to musicals, to musical dramas, which I'm very proud of. So I'd like to take them back in and rewrite them, redo them all. They're focused on a particular theme, and I'd like to take that away.
Yeah. Kind of make it a bit more...
I've no
bit
idea,
more,
but I get great pleasure playing the stuff to myself.
Yeah.
And I would play it. I'm a member of the Unitarian Church, and I would play it there a lot.
Yeah.
As well. And last Sunday we sang some stuff that I'd written.
Ah, nice.
Because I'd repurposed a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I think, I want to recycle all of that stuff because I like some of it. But I have my piano, I have my baby grand in my sitting room, and stuff comes out,
Yeah.
And
But are you like one of them that like would wake up in the middle of the night and just be like, oh, I have to
no,
tune
the phone, my notes, my voice memos.
Yeah. Just full
It's
of
full of
just humming and stuff.
humming tunes.
Yeah.
And then I listen back and go,
Did I do that?
stupid, delete. Yeah, I have some great ideas and a lot of lyrics then, and a lot of ideas and lyrics. I've used the notes. The notes is full. My it's just amazing.
It's gas,
The material I have.
You've
And
got-
do you know what? If nothing comes of, I've thought it. I've written it. I've put it down. I've expressed it, and sometimes that's just enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like that as well. I'm real kind of like, I'll hear something and be like, I can make that. A bit like the lightsaber thing. I can do that.
Yeah, that's it.
I've
Move
been like
on
that.
to the next one.
I've been like that my whole life. So
Stuff doesn't need to be completed or finished.
yeah, I'm like that.
This is the process. It's the journey. It's the process. It's not.
Trying to figure it out
Yeah.
is my thing. I fucking know how to do that. Like I'll hear something on the radio and I'll be like, I'll make that in my sleep. And then I'll come home and spend like 20 minutes and I'll make it and I'll be like, told you.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking around the room going, who are you even talking to? You just had to prove, I just had to prove to myself, I can fucking do that.
I think understanding how it's done as well. So you might go home and
Yeah.
try and do something like that, and to understand, oh, that's how they did it. Chord progressions.
Yeah.
Some songs. I mean, most of the most popular songs in the world have four chords, 4 or 5, maybe
They're always the
a
same chords.
fifth one. But it's how they're combined and how they're put. It's
Yeah.
all maths, really. I find that fascinating.
Yeah.
And,
You can definitely go deep. Like you can fall down the rabbit hole with it.
Yeah.
And just like once you get in that state of flow, that's it. You're fucked. Your time just like is that like that for you? Like say,
Yeah.
like Danielle says to me all the time. I go, I'm gonna go studio for an hour. She's like, yeah, grand. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And she'll laugh like, and I go,
Yeah.
stop
And it
you.
will
I'll be
be
down
tomorrow.
in an hour.
Yeah.
About 4 or 5 hours will pass, and I'm like, oh jeez, yeah, I told you I'd be down. I'd say it's only been 20 minutes. You'd be like, you've been up there the whole day. Time just like stands still.
I did.
Just goes.
COVID was like that for me.
Everything
Yeah.
just.
Yeah, COVID, it would be all nighters, and was no one there to I didn't have to get up to go to work. I went to work over at the table, turned on my computer, and then I was at work.
Yeah.
Once the phone was on and all that kind of stuff. So I did a lot of that. But now I'm in choirs. I'm in other stuff now, so that takes me out of the house. So I walk out on Thursday evening, go down to choir, and that's. Some people go to the gym. Some people, go to the gym, play games, play football.
Yeah.
My thing is going to choir.
Yeah.
Sitting with 50 or 60 other people singing harmonies. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
That's
quite
great.
amazing. But
Great. Do you find that good for the mental health side of it? Like to keep you kind of sane and kind of keep you ticking over.
definitely, and
Like if you
keep you in
didn't do
touch with
that,
people,
like you'd-
particularly during cold winter nights.
Yeah.
You get home, like, oh shit, I have to go out now to choir, and it's maybe, and then you've got to teach yourself. It's not a good idea to. I'll give it a miss this week, because when I'm leaving at 10 o'clock, when we're walking out of choir, you're bouncing home, because you've had a workout, you've been with people who share a common interest, you've had the crack, you've had a cup of tea. And you've had a workout because you've had your breathing exercise. You've been singing some really gorgeous music, learning some gorgeous music, and then you're smiling on your way home, even though it's raining, it's cold, it's 10 o'clock at night, it's dark, and I insist on walking because any excuse, I find it an excuse to leave the car at home.
Yeah.
So I will walk.
Well, you live close to the city now.
Yeah,
so
that's true. I live close. I don't have to. Yeah, it would be.
You
silly
little
to walk.
shite.
Yeah, look at me. Yeah, greenwashing. But
You big
yeah,
wig.
that is my, that's my my therapy, my passion, and as a youth worker, often you are in a position of leadership,
Yeah.
or particularly if you're working directly with young people, which I don't do a lot of that anymore. I work for the youth workers who work for the young people.
Yeah.
But it's nice to sit back and have someone else conduct and teach you.
Yeah, I get you.
That's really important.
Yeah.
Because you never stop learning. The older I get, the more I know what I don't know.
Yeah.
And the more I
find that.
gobble up learning, gobble up new things.
Mm.
And I think that's something you do as you get older. You realise these things.
Yeah.
As well as the hard work.
I'm getting like that too.
Yeah.
I am.
But,
I'm getting like that too.
There's so much out there. And I keep looking forward. There's so much in the future. There's some of the amazing things yet to happen. And part of my work with young people is about that. Is about whatever about the past. Live in the present.
Yeah.
And look
Keep
towards
pushing forward.
look towards the future because it is filled with particularly if you grow up in this country, there's something privileged about despite the poverty that people experience.
Yeah.
There are opportunities for our young people that I think we've got to, and that's part of our job in Feroiga, is ensuring that young people get the opportunity to realise those opportunities and to enable them to reach for them, to reach for their full potential. Because, whatever that potential is going to be, I mean, you might have said things when you were 14 or 15, but look at you now.
I know. Like I make believe for a living.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd do that. I always thought I'd be like, I don't know, I'd work at McDonald's for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Not that it's a bad thing, but I didn't think I'd have like some form of career. Like I work in social media now.
Yeah.
Which is something I didn't think I'd do 10 years ago or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't think working and making like funny pictures and silly videos was a thing. You know what I mean? For social media. What? That's not a real job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where I've ended up. And it's because of the skills I learned at.
But you catch young artists. You catch young artists. You've been kind of catching young artists and giving them a hand.
I have.
Enabling them and passing on, whatever. And as a mentor, you've been a mentor to,
look, you name it.
To a number of young people and continue. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Most of them I do in private. I don't really broadcast a lot of it.
No,
the
but
one
I know
that
you
people
do.
would know about is Evan.
Yeah, I know
Flynn
you
Johnson.
do that. Yeah.
He would be the big one because that's more public.
Yeah,
but I've helped loads of people on the way because there was no one there to help me. You were the only person that ever helped me when I was growing up. You were the only person that ever championed the creative side that I had, and to be silly, to be a bit of a nerd, a bit of a geek, a bit of a weirdo, a bit of an emo, because I was. You know what I mean? Even still to this day, I wear all black. But still, cry in the corner.
Remember, you would never take off that cap.
Yeah, I took it off, and now I'm starting to put it back on because I'm going a bit thin on top. No, I'm not. But look, I'm getting there. No, but really, you were the only person that ever championed that side of me. You know what I mean? I didn't get that from home. I think that's why I battled so much with the self-confidence and the self-hating and all that sort of stuff. I think that's why I battled that so much, is because when I was around you, it was, be creative as much as you can, never stop. It was basically a Peter Pan way of living. Never grow up. Just have fun for the rest of your life and you'll always be happy, or you'll always find some form of happiness.
As a teenager, I had that. I had that adult.
I think everyone goes through it.
In my, when I was young, that's why I'm playing music. That's why I play music,
Yeah. It was encouraged.
Because there was one good adult. There was at least one good adult who encouraged me.
And you were my good adult. Like you were the one that did that for me.
That's what it's all about.
Because I grew up in a single mother household. I never had a dad growing up, and you were the father figure for me. And you know that. You gave me away at my wedding. You were there.
That's right.
You were there at my wedding. Are you his brother?
No. So are you? Yeah. Are you her dad? Are you the father of the bride?
No way.
And I was there. Excuse me.
How do you? Fucking how do you think I am? I'm 17.
I was. Excuse me. Yeah. I'm his big brother.
I'm his cousin.
I was devastated.
You're dead right.
Disgusted.
You're dead right. People do ask me, am I Daniel's father all the time?
It was kind of, but I was there and I was so proud.
No, you were always that to me. And look, I've maybe said I love you and meant it to maybe 3 people in my life, and I do love you, and you mean a lot to me. You've always been there for me, always, still to this day. Still to this bleeding day. Don't start crying.
Stop it.
Then I'll start crying.
Stop it.
But I do. You know how much love I have for you. You've always been a day one to me. And most of the man I am now, I owe to you. Between you and Danielle, you shaped me into a good person. Because I honestly thought it was going to end one or two ways for me, and luckily came across you.
Yeah,
what are you pulling out of that back?
I'm going something I want to read. You know the way Ev does a joke?
Yeah.
But I wanted to read something.
Now I'm after getting super deep there, and you have to fucking interrupt me for some book. It better be a bleeding good book. Is that 50 Shades of Grey?
Not at all.
What's that?
No.
Strengthen your connection. My man. Are you not going to tell a joke now?
No, I'm gonna.
How dare you, sir?
I'm gonna pass on some wisdom from Scandinavia. Because I was thinking, what am I going to? Because he does a joke, and I'll have lots of jokes, but I'll get it wrong.
Yeah.
But
and you'll probably get into trouble.
Free loose sleeve. which is the Nordic art of reconnecting with nature and
Can I ask one question before you crack on with this
and
weird
I forgot my
bag.
glasses.
That's grand.
I love seeking wisdom from wherever it can be found.
Yeah. Well, sure. Didn't you study
Philosophy.
philosophy?
Yeah,
Philosophy.
I did.
Ah, see,
I'm deeply interested in all the big questions. I'm such a nerd that way.
Yeah.
And I will seek it everywhere. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I was going to ask,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think of young people now,
Oh.
opposed to my day? What we were like? Are we the exact same? Because I look at young people now like, oh my God.
Well, listen, I was
fucked.
not too long ago, I was talking to a group of, it might be 17, 18-year-olds. Oh my God, you want to see the first years? I've heard that, probably heard that from you. I've heard that a lot. That once young people hit like 17, 18, almost on the cusp of adulthood, oh my God, you want to see the first years? Oh, they're crazy,
That mad.
Yeah, and we never done anything like that.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of thing. So, our parents, our grandparents may very well have had that. Oh, the young people today, young people today. So I'm aware of that. I'm not saying that you're wrong. That there's something different about, or there are other worries that we need to be aware of. So every generation has the previous generation. There's always going to be negativity, and we never done anything like that. And in my day, all that kind of stuff, and that kind of annoys me. And the music the young people listen to, they condemned, the young people listening to rock and roll.
I know.
And it was and jazz with the devil's music and all of that kind of stuff. And now,
R&B was fucking.
So the pressures on young people are definitely different. Young people are the same. They have the same desires, the same wishes, the same dreams. There is anxiety.
Yeah.
I mean, COVID has not helped.
Or social media.
So
certain aspects of social media.
So anxiety is very much something we're very aware of and trying to help with, and teachers will tell you that. Anyone professionally working with children or young people will tell you that anxiety is something we really need to watch and need to help young people with. We understand child development, adolescent development much better. A lot of trauma informed care. We understand neurodiversity.
Yeah.
Oh, in my day there wasn't any autistic. The kind of thing. Yeah, of course they were. They were locked. They were kept away.
No one had the
from
pressure
the
back
main,
in my day.
from
They did.
the mainstream.
Yeah.
So neurodiversity,
Diversion,
we understand that, and LGBT young people, queer young people.
Yeah.
In my day we didn't have. You did. But they were not safe.
Yeah.
So we've got an amazing array of young people who are out and proud in a safe space. So we've got LGBT groups, and they are an amazing group of young people.
Yeah.
That's something you would not have seen in our
completely
early days.
Yeah, completely different now.
Our society is open, much more open. It's a freer society, but yet social media has amplified the bad side, the desire to control, to bully, that adds to the anxiety and adds to the disconnection that young people, particularly in COVID, then disconnected young people from everything, and they rushed back to youth work programs. They rushed back that summer.
Did you see a big flood?
Rushed back in, picked up as if we'd never been anywhere.
Yeah.
And tried to get back to normal.
Yeah.
And the availability. Drugs. Yeah, that was a perennial problem.
Yeah.
What's available, and the earlier young people are using is a real problem, because they're not finished. That body isn't finished stitching itself together and developing and growing. Shouldn't be going near that stuff.
Yeah.
At a young age, and I'm really worried. Really worried about that.
Would the anxiety would that have been there when I was small? Like, would you have noticed that in me when I was younger? Because I would have been an anxious kid.
Yeah.
It's just there wasn't a word for it when I was.
Definitely, and
I
our
was 14.
big focus was on providing safe spaces for young people.
Yeah.
And particularly for young people from we're talking about low income neighbourhoods, That's why we're in those, because they don't, young people don't get the same opportunities, you know, as young people from more advantaged or higher income neighbourhoods.
Yeah.
So it's really important, and you know, this is inequality and poverty. This is, you know, that's the reason for many of these problems is inequality and poverty, you know. So I don't know if that kind of answers your question. That's
No, it does.
You know, it's because we have a better understanding. It appears to us more complicated. We're certainly aware. We're certainly far more. I don't know what to say, but as in the difference between you as a 14-year-old and the 14-year-olds now, there isn't much difference. But the pressures and the social media, you know, that's on you. That's all different. That's something that you didn't have to deal with.
A different element they have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you ask yourself, what would you have done with social media as a 14-year-old?
True.
I mean, I would have. Oh my God.
I know.
Would
I'd be in prison.
Yeah.
I'd be in prison.
Yeah.
Me and my friends. Jesus Christ.
if social media was available to just think about, you know, you as or even the previous generation, if it was available to them, same things would have, same difficulties.
Yeah. Imagine if John Lennon had Twitter.
If John Lennon had Twitter, yeah.
Could you imagine?
If Gandhi had an Instagram account.
Could you imagine? Oh
if Martin Luther King had a YouTube channel.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it? It's imagine trying to explain that to someone like that now.
Gandhi and you know, and they never lifted a finger to anyone. Those people, those activists, those revolutionaries never lifted a finger to anyone. They articulated them with their words, with their ideas, and with the way they lived. And I think that's key. That's key. It's really you know, there should be this, there should be that, there should be that, the other in society. But I think we got to live that first. Let's get it right in ourselves. Let's be the kindness and the gentleness in society, and see how that affects others around us. Because it does. You know the smile. You know what a smile does.
Yeah, of course.
When your kids see you smile, oh my days.
Yeah. Me and Danielle were only talking about it. We were in a shop the other day, and the shop was particularly really busy. The girl behind the desk looked stressed out.
Yeah.
And I just asked her how her day was going. How are you getting on? Are you new? Well, I thought you were new, because I didn't think you were new, because you were doing that pretty well. You know, blah blah blah, whatever. Just make a small chat. She laughed, giggled, whatever, and walked off. Yeah. And I remember Danielle saying to me, "You always do that in shops." She goes, "My ma always does it as well." It's just like, you know, you just talk to them and you just ask them how their day's going.
It makes all the difference.
And it makes all the difference to somebody. You know,
a bit of dopamine, a little bit of serotonin.
A bit of dopamine, yeah. You don't know whether they're coming off a 10-hour shift and you're coming in and just, hey, getting on. Yeah. Oh, geez, I'm wrecked out. Long day. You know, you're just in air, like just, grand, crack on. You know.
Simple.
Yeah. A little bit of kindness. It goes a long way. Trust me. Yeah. I've always been nice to the people coming up, and when I needed a hand or something, then people were always there to, you know, to champion me on. And I like to think that's why when you were saying earlier about I help out a lot of the young artists coming up, I don't do it for like, oh, well, if I do them a favour now, and if they blow up, they're going to do me a favour. I don't. I do it because, look, I had one person that helped me out when I was younger, and I want to be that person for you. So here's a leg up. Here's all the information you need. It's up to you what to do with it. I can't give you this. You need to go out and work for it, you know. And I like to think, you know, change their life a little bit, and if I ever need something, they might give me a little leg up. If they learn something new, they might be able to teach me that, you know.
It's the karma, that's what I do it for. And the Hindus had this worked out about giving and receiving back, that we are all connected. Yeah. Science teaches us that now. The Hindus knew this thousands of years ago. Yeah. That we're all connected. Look at trees talking to each other through the root system. Quantum physics. Yeah. We are all connected. So we are one race. We are one people. We're on this rock, traveling through space. There's only us. You know. There's no we should give it to our own and all that kind of stuff. There's none of that. We're all the one. Yeah. And we're all connected. And you give some of your goodness, your kindness, your talents, your time to others. The world will give that back to you. Yeah. at some stage in your life, particularly when you need it.
Yeah, I found that to work in,
but it makes us
some
happy.
aspects.
I think it makes you happy.
Of course.
Yeah. So
if someone's looking for help, why the hell would you shut them down? Do you know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah.
Like, it costs you nothing to be happy.
And look how your life may be enriched, by it all.
That's it.
And you may be let down. And that's fine.
Sure, look. Then you'll learn.
Sure, look.
Then you'll learn. Cut that one off.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Yes, I mean, we've talked about that in youth work. You might be let down. You're working really hard with a group of young people, and they end up just doing something, And you're there, oh no, how am I going to do this? You're disappointed, you've been let down after all you've done. But that's fine. You know that this may this is life. I mean, this may happen. Pick yourself up. You'll get a bit of love from the people around you, and then carry on.
Head first. Gives a bit of your wisdom then.
Yeah.
Since you don't have any bleeding jokes.
So no jokes, and I left me glasses. So it's called strengthening your connections.
Gav's about 92 years old, by the way.
Yeah.
Just for anyone asking.
If you have ever shed sorrowful tears over the nagging feeling that you don't belong on earth, that you are existentially lost, that the mothership left before beaming you back up, accept this tragic fact and adapt to your new environment. If no one has noticed you're missing by now, just take advantage of the fact it may be a while before they come back. Every breath and every step offers an opportunity to reconnect or connect with where and who and what you are. Find comfort, the root of mood, in the fundamental foundations and essential elements that inspire you to establish contact. Explore them, and Earth will finally feel like home.
That's a bar. That is a bar. That's crazy.
So there
Come
you go.
on.
So
Earth will finally feel like home.
do you know the way sometimes you feel like the sky is cracking above you, and or you feel like somehow you're in the wrong set of clothes.
Yeah.
That this is not, I'm in the wrong place.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow try and adapt to that situation. Find your people.
Yeah.
Find your connections, and then the place might feel a little bit like home.
Oh, that's a bar. We'll end on that. Now. Gavin Byrne, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
For joining me here on Gobsmack, the podcast where we talk about growing up and everything in between. And I'll give a little, oh baby!
Oh baby.
Because I know you love it. This has been Gobsmacked with my closest friend, Gavin Byrne, who has shaped me into the person I am today. I owe a lot of what I am today to Mr. Gavin Byrne. So thank you very much for joining me. And hopefully next week, Flynn the Windy will be back, and we might have a little Halloween special. This year comes a tale of homemade horror. So yeah, stay tuned. Thank you very much for the words of wisdom, and we'll catch you next week. Oh
Baby.